Most of my life I spent out there in Vegas.
Talk to me. What you doing today?
I've been like cutting my own hair, so I just kind of been cutting out the sides, to be honest. So like just fade up the sides and then kind of clean up the top.
Skin fade.
How did she afford all this? The truth is, my son David works with the state, and he told me about something most people don't know. There's a $25,000 state regulated
She's the first barbershop when this place opened in 04. I met on that wall, first one, Mrs. Smith.
It helps cover funeral costs and
Yes,
medical
place.
bills, so
So,
your family
started a
isn't
roll
left
shop
drowning in debt. But it's not automatic.
40
You
came
have to
back to
call
partner with
and
his
ask
mentor.
for it by name.
Buying the
I
name
thought it was
skills,
too
place
good
in
to
front
be
of our
true,
barbershop.
but I answered two simple questions, had a short call, and I was approved. No medical stays,
This is how
no
it looked.
piles of
And his
paperwork,
mentor had
and
it,
the
so he
cost of
vowed to
it
never
was
change
just
it.
$2 a day. $2 for $25,000 in protection. If you're over 50, check before
What you
enrollment
doing?
ends.
Myself, I'm not from here. I've been here with 9 weeks from Houston. Born and raised in the Midwest. But my wife's from here. Born and raised, but she's in Houston for the last 15 years. But a few illnesses in the family. And just didn't want to have to return back if and when funerals time. So actually have a funeral tomorrow. Family members. Try to focus on understanding that do the best you can with the time you have. Shit, you don't know how much time you got. No one knows. So
I was very surprised to hear about how much black business was out here in El Paso. My grandparents were originally out here in the 60s and 70s, but I didn't get to meet them beforehand, so at least on my black side, so my Hispanic grandparents live out here now. But it's cool to see all this history. How's the hustle been treating you so far?
can't complain. Apostle's been great to me, man. Not knowing anybody, getting on TikTok like yourself, gentlemen, people walking in saying, "Hey, I found you on TikTok." That has been that helped a lot. Granted, I've been a marketer, I was a cameraman for the last 10 years. That's what I really know how to do, is work cameras and content and Photoshop and all that shit. So that helped me. I don't look at it as a job like people say you have to make content look goofy online. I was a marketer, I was a club promoter. So I come from just having to tell people as much about your product or your parties as much as possible if you want them to be coming here to help me and just bringing my clippers, because I didn't expect to be here this long, but I'm pretty glad that I did listen to myself when I told myself bring the clippers just in case.
When I was a kid, I used to work in this tattoo shop, maybe like a few doors down. It used to be on Dyer, like further down Dyer. I haven't gone back to see again. I used to do tattoos, but I don't know, man. Kind of got into a freak accident and cut my tendon and my nerve in my hand and can't hold a tattoo gun no more. Yeah.
cleaning out your grandparents' stuff, what brought you back? Your mama, right?
So my grandfather was more of like a preparation more than
Hopefully, he's doing this year, man, a lot. Definitely.
people want to fight about stuff that's not even you still living. And they, I don't know, man. I came back to honor what they've been doing their whole life. You know, like I know they're at an age that they can really get the things done that they want before they go, and you know the kids and all that are just making it so difficult for them to be at peace. That you know the things that they're going through right now are beyond their control. You know, so I don't know. It's not my place to come and try to preach any of that. Just I'm trying to show them, trying to get them to participate, but you know, doing all the lifting, which is all right. You know? Yeah, I mean, I tried when I came out, and I don't know if people are still kind of stuck in their old ways, you know?
That's how all of them, you know. You continue to allow them to be, as you say, stuck in their own ways. Because I do the same thing. I say the same thing. I be like, well, we're gonna never get no change. I mean, you gotta like, fighting evil is good. I mean, they wake up every day on bullshit, so you kind of gotta wake up every day knowing that, like, yeah.
Well, so far I've just been making them uncomfortable by giving them the invite when I know they're probably gonna say no, you know?
Yeah.
So, you know, every morning when I gotta go and clean up, I try to make it maybe not about who they're helping out, but it's like them to come and participate with me, you know? But, I don't know. All my uncles and stuff out here, first thing they do when they get up is drinking smoke. Yeah. So,
Federated Tax's experienced tax professional.
7 days a week. Every day. Gotta be great. I don't know. Definitely.
12 days. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, the call is free.
So you worked out there in the clubs in Houston?
Yeah. That's cool.
I worked the front door in Vegas for a lot of clubs, a lot of promotions and stuff for them from like individual events. I could imagine what Houston's got going on out there. Man.
One of the most popular cities, so up in the Vegas and then up the plane out there for a little bit. Oh, it is just like different vibe, a different terrain to it, but the city that doesn't sleep.
Yeah, that's for sure. I gotta get used to that weather again out here, though. I'm already sweating. This morning I woke up and I was like, man, the AC kind of just turned off this morning. I went out to fix it. I was like, it's already getting warm. Like that northern Michigan stuff got me spoiled.
Yeah, I haven't, I was born in Milwaukee, raised in Big Home, Michigan. This time of year, it's still snow on the ground.
Yeah.
Crazy. My little brother just went out there. He's going to Marquette, Michigan.
Oh, yeah, that's real nice.
Yeah, he up the peninsula. I've always wanted to go.
Yeah.
Since I was a kid. And I was like, man, if it's still snowing like that, that's crazy. My kids tell me all the time, I'm not going probably but a couple months out the year, so
yeah, I mean, that's kind of all you need, to be honest.
it's gonna be a certain couple months out the year, then you're gonna go during the year. The rest of the time, you just gonna wait till the next year fall around, and we not going doing that seatbelt button. Nah, my mom, I had one of my mama, man, you missed that bus ride from walking to school.
I learned how to listen real quick. Try to open the door halfway up and snow.
It snow all the way up to your doorknob. See, kids, people think I be playing. My kids think this shit funny. I'm like, yeah, you got a daddy raised by his mom. I'm telling you, y'all wouldn't like me if you was raised in Michigan. If y'all was raised in Michigan like I was, man. Y'all is down south babies. Just keep it that way. Y'all gonna like it up there. Now I gotta be mean to you up in the north where I can't help you. Like I'm not helping your ass. You gonna learn like I learned. And that weather is treacherous if you're used to it. I come from the south.
Spinning around in my car on some icy roads.
Man, and that's from a dog, yeah. That driving, oh my God. People be thinking I be playing when I be telling them, man, we got totally different tires up there.
Oh yeah. You gotta have 2 sets of tires and chains.
People be thinking I'm just playing. People ain't never been to the north or been what's the season. Like Miss James said he's from New York, so he understand. When he came here, he was like, I ain't never seen a sticker bug. You ain't seen a sticker bug? Oh, shit.
Yeah, it was definitely a culture shock too up there. I'd only been in northern Michigan for like 3 years, so. But I was up there in Traverse City, which is like a little bit northeast, or actually northwest of Michigan. But it's almost like the Caribbean in the summer, dude. It's like a whole bunch of sandbars and like crystal clear blue water and shit.
That's the beautiful part about it. In a few couple months.
Yeah.
It's some of that water and everything. That's what I love about it.
You only get it for like a month and a half. That water go right back to freezing.
Yep. One thing I love about it is the water.
You guys get a lot of soldiers coming through here?
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of the time on skills, because skills is working on the base since the 60s. Basically, most of these clients followed him through the years here, and he passed. John started cutting really good. Since it's right here, still, that's me. TikTok, Friday. $10. And they tell me who's not coming off of it. I would leave. You can really do money good. $15. But that's the thing right now. People are saying that you can't get a good haircut for less than $20. Haircut has got nothing to do with the price. It got something to do with the quality. But the artist said they care about the work. It's just like I'm a band, whether he charge you $50 or no dollars, and he say I'm gonna do the work, it shouldn't matter what he said. He's gonna charge you, you should do the work. That's how I look at it. I don't look at it like, once we get past the price is just what I really don't take. That ain't got nothing to do with whether or not I'm gonna actually do the job right. I'm gonna always do that, or I ain't gonna do it at all. This is how I was raised. You want to do something, you have to do it. You ain't gonna do it. Could have doing something that way. Could have been doing something else.
It's not a non-profit.
What got you picking Cowboy Richie as your handle?
Being the actual, well, she's like a kid that had that on the ranch. And just understanding Cowboy, why the name Cowboy, the real history of it. As I got older, came from being a derogatory term for black men that love to kind of work like me and own our own ranch and be a, have cattle and things of that nature. When I found out the reason behind that made me want to go even more be a cowboy. And that's just really a long life dream of mine. I think that's like my retirement, to be honest, life is to be 100% a cowboy. Live off the land, raise cattle. So it's more of a partial manifest destiny type situation. And part of it is just like I am just a cowboy at heart. That's just really what I am. Outside of doing similar things to what cowboys do, at the level I can do it on the time I spend on it. But yeah, it just started out from just knowing my future. Knowing my past, knowing where I come from, like my family owning cattle and things of that nature.
That's cool.
Then, just combining that with the barber thing, I started going out into the world and people, kids were really coming up to me and like, oh, that's Cowboy Richie, and remembering me, it was an easy thing. I come from being a promoter, one of my first jobs, so marketing, understanding the brand, understanding that, and understanding like, wait, that's really working. We keeping that, and then I remember just turning it into a cartoon and sending it to my family, and then it was just like, look, bro, you got something with this character, and then it was just a character, it was authentically just who I am, and then I love the Wendy's logo. I love just immortalizing like the Gerber Baby, real life people, so when you grow up, see them 20, 30 years from now, you be like, wait, you're the Gerber Baby? You're a baby? And so I just want that effect one day where people gonna be like, I know that I'm not gonna look like that for the rest of my life, but that's how I look in this era. And it's gonna be some people one day that ain't gonna know that that's how I used to look. So I think it'll be a cool thing to just look like that, immortalize myself. And at the same time, not just myself, but our business model, so where it's really
it's what you live in.
Yeah. Instead of having to create something, a logo, and just being just that logo, I feel alone.
It's like a brand of you.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, actually farming is kind of like what brought me out here in the second place besides family. Because that's what I did out there in northern Michigan for money. Is I usually work with the farms to bring like different cash flow and stuff. So, doing agritourism, like bringing weddings and different kinds of crops and getting them to apply for different kinds of grants and stuff that they usually wouldn't apply for. That's kind of what I was doing out there. I noticed out here a lot of people are trying to do weddings in the Southwest too, so I'm in the process of talking to a few farms out there in Cruces that aren't using like some of their barns and stuff like that. Should be fun. Gotta get out there and meet everybody. Not very many people are using social media out here.
I noticed that too when I first got here. Noticed that when the first thing, but also I looked at it like an opportunity. I was like, what that means, that's just money just sitting there.
I gotta get better with the camera and my mics and stuff, because I have them, I just always had someone on the side to do it.
But don't focus on too much on the professionalism or the equipment of it. And you focus on your information or whatever it is that you're trying to get to the world, unless you make a movie. Unless you make a movie.
See that?
Yeah, of course.
See, that's kind of where I came from at the end of it, because I got assigned by a company to go out and interview farmers just to get the story, you know.
And you don't need it that deep, like you just.
But I get stuck just listening to how they got there, you know what I'm saying? So it wasn't, that first interview was always for myself, and then the second interview I'd always go and take someone with me to gather, you know, the highlights or what they're trying to, you know, what they're trying to get out to the world for themselves. But I don't know, I always got caught up, like, at first thinking that I needed to gather everything, and it was really about listening the first time around, and then coming at them with value, you know?
Some possible good news coming out of the region, though. Iran's top diplomat raising hopes for renewed peace talks with the U.S. Foreign Minister confirming he's headed to Pakistan today to jumpstart negotiations this weekend. Our chief foreign correspondent Ian Hale is in Tel Aviv with the latest. Ian?
Today, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth giving a briefing bullish on U.S. strategy in Iran, telling reporters that the U.S. would bleed out the Iranian economy with the naval blockade, urging Iran to cut a deal, saying all they have to do is abandon a nuclear weapon in a meaningful and verifiable way, but instead they can watch the regime's fragile economic state collapse. I think that's the view of officials here, that blockade and the sanctions are going to have a punitive effect on the Iranian economy, and there's a limit to what the regime can withstand. Meanwhile, CENTCOM announcing that the USS George H.W. Bush carrier strike group has now also arrived here in the Middle East, meaning there are an additional sailors in the region and 3 aircraft carriers. This is for the first time in decades. The water movement could potentially be used for combat operations. The president's been claiming that Iran's having a hard time figuring out who its leader is, and that there's infighting between hardliners and moderates. He's repeatedly claimed that there are divisions or fractures that blame the lack of progress in negotiations. But multiple security sources paint a different picture. One source familiar with intelligence telling ABC News there's no clear evidence of fractures at the level of core decision-making. And that although the system is now decentralized, decisions are still being taken by the cadre of military leaders together with the new supreme leader. And there have been multiple statements online itself from Iraq leaders all denying that there are divisions as has been said by the president of Israel. Meanwhile, Israel, I think, making its intentions on Iran very clear. Defense Minister Katz saying Israel's prepared to renew the war against Iran. We're waiting for the green light from the US, first and foremost, to complete the elimination of the Hamlet dynasty and return the rights to the Garnation. But it was positive for that process. Surprise over on this event. Thursday, President Donald Trump cashing a 2-week Israel-Lebanon ceasefire extension, nipping out the talks between Israeli and Lebanese officials at the White House. The president saying he hopes 3 weeks would go far on the terms, but also acknowledging that both sides have plenty to think about. Talk of which the Iranian-backed movement rejecting these negotiations, calling it a deceptive scheme, criticizing Lebanese officials for sitting at the negotiating table with Israel after the talks provide a cover for Israeli aggression. Sheila?
All right, Ian Hale, thank you. And for more coming right up for Karen travelers. So Karen, our foreign minister is now confirming that he is indeed traveling to Pakistan. So what do you think this means for possible peace talks with the U.S.?
It could be possible here. You know, he is not going there explicitly for bilateral negotiations with the United States at this point. There's a international issue. He's part of a tour of the region of the operated stops in Oman and Russia. But Iran did not travel to Pakistan earlier this week in anticipation of a potential meeting with Vice President Vance. Obviously, that meeting on the Vice President's side and that trip was called off, and he did not go either. So now they could be there, and that could jumpstart negotiations. But the big question, of course, though, is did anything change? Were there any assurances from the Iranian side
went to church. I went to church there. I went coming out for going to church every year. Something like that. Stuff was good. The point pastor, she passed the section of the mall.
But now we have quite the plot twist. The Department of
Bethel,
Justice officially dropping its
Bethel
investigation amidst
Pentecost,
pressure from
Bethel
Senate
International
decision.
Pentecostal.
Now appearing to end this standoff on Capitol Hill that was threatening to delay the confirmation of Kevin Warsh as the next head of the central bank. Our Elizabeth Schulze broke the story for us. She joins me now. So what exactly happened? And this is quite the standoff, right, Carol? We saw that President Trump
Definitely need to get back in that chair.
he was at multiple times he wanted to fire the Fed chair Jerome Powell, so he nominated Kevin Warsh to take over that job when Powell's term ends May 15th. That would have been all business as usual, except for what we saw happen was the Trump Justice Department launched this criminal investigation into Powell. They said it was over the renovation costs of the Fed's Washington headquarters here, which has been more expensive than originally expected. But what Powell said about it really said Powell has been able to replace the president at once, and Tom Tillis, a senator of
I think the
Republican,
first one I went to last was a little, seemed a little too like commercial for me, but
with the investigation. Essentially today, he was agreeing to came out and said,
It's here? I keep hearing about some Texas too. It's like the third person that came up here and said something.
essentially saying that, you know, we reserve the right to open this again, but we also should, bottom line, we should pave the path for, essentially having more to offer anything first. Okay, so then his confirmation is good to go. Right, I mean, well, we haven't heard from Tom Phillips yet, and that's what we've been watching because he's been the deciding vote here. I actually asked him just 2 days ago, assuming that he agreed for it, I did, and I used that with Kevin Warsh specifically, right? And this is Tom Phillips, he said, no, I support Kevin Warsh. I don't support this investigation. So presumably now that the investigation is going away, he'll come out and say that he, you know, he will go for it. We haven't heard any sort of confirmation here. A timeline, you know, May 15th is when this ends pretty soon. Powell has said that he would stay in that role until there's a new successor that's confirmed. That's confirmed. One interesting kind of twist here, though, Kira, is that Powell's term as a Fed governor actually ends 2 years from now, so he could stay on the Fed for 2 more years, not as the leader, but on basically a leadership role. Have to see. He hasn't yet said if he would do that, kind of dependent on, you know, how this and quite the statement is he's not going to stay in the Fed board after all this back and forth. That would be pretty interesting. But then again, he may want to do it just to poke the bear. Well, and there have been very real concerns from the Fed, including Jerome Powell. I had asked him directly, what happens if the Fed loses its independence from politics? And a lot of senators were not satisfied with Kevin Warsh's on that. Answers on that in the hearing this week. Powell might want to make a statement, you know, determined to keep the Fed kind of as independent as possible. We will see that. This is something there's a lot of members of the Fed, a lot of them insist on the independence. Actually, Kevin Warsh did make the point of saying he does believe the Fed should operate independently too. All right, break some more news for us. Thank you, Elizabeth. Okay. Well, fast-moving wildfires triggering a new wave of evacuations in the southeast. At least 87 homes have now been destroyed in Georgia. The 2 largest wildfires remain largely uncontained, as more than 35,000 acres have already been scorched. 91 counties remain under a state of emergency in South Georgia now, with plumes of smoke overtaking the skies. There are air quality alerts from Jacksonville to Columbia, South Carolina. We're now watching those, and Governor Brian Kemp is set to survey the damage as well. Well, straight ahead, breaking her silence. The scandal ended with a top college football coach out of a job. The woman at the center of it gives us an exclusive interview. Plus, stop the cause. Opponents. My one driver says she was arrested, so this officer could meet his monthly numbers.
People were shocked when they learned I paid nothing for my husband's funeral. I could hear them whisper. How did she afford all this? The truth is, my son David works with the state, and he told me about something most people don't even know. It's a $25,000 state-regulated final expense benefit for Americans over 50.
Just
But
figuring it
hardly
out.
anyone knows about. It helps cover funeral costs and medical bills, so your family isn't left drowning in debt. But it's not automatic. You have to call and ask for it by name. I thought it was too good to be true, but I answered 2 simple questions, had a short call, and I was approved. No medical exam, time.
Any place. Now that's what we call a sweet treat. Candy Crush Time. Play now.
I'm not coming on Saturday. Look out for cash.
Searching for the simplest way to treat ED? Things can help. You'll start by answering some basic questions about your health, 100% online. Then a provider will review your information and determine if treatment is right for you, without an in-person visit. If prescribed, your order ships discreetly to your door for free. Access to care with no insurance, no doctor's offices, and no pharmacy lines. This is ED treatment made simple. Start today at hims.com.
Unendurable. That's how Robin Michelle Reiner's son, Jake, describes learning about his parents' deaths. His picture-filled post on Substack is the first time he's commented about the murders publicly. Robin Michelle Reiner's other son, Nick, has been charged with their murders, and has pleaded not guilty. Now Jake is asking for love, compassion, and privacy as he and his sister try to navigate the painful circumstances. Well, the woman in the center of the Michigan football coach's firing and arrest is breaking her silence now. Paige Shiver tells our Lindsay Davis about her relationship with Shore, her attempts to end it, and what she says happened the day he barged into her apartment accusing her of ruining his life. Here's her exclusive interview.
Did you love him? Back then, I did, but obviously looking back at things and really reflecting on what happened, what was happening, that's not love at all.
Paige Shiver, now 32, says she was just an intern in 2022 when she and Jerome Moore, then an offensive coordinator and a married father, started a consensual, intimate relationship. She was asked to be the board's executive assistant when he was promoted to head coach in 2024. Did you feel pressured to have a relationship in order to have job security?
Yes, I did. I mean, he and other coaches had control over my career, especially him. I mean, he could fire me in a second.
Shiver says her attempts to end the on-again, off-again relationship were often met with what she calls manipulation tactics, including threats of self-harm.
Every time I tried to pull away, he always had a story, always had a way to pull me in and making me feel that I couldn't leave him because he was so miserable without me.
During their years-long relationship, Shiver learned she was pregnant by Moore. Pregnancy was complicated by Pompe disease, a genetic disorder that weakens muscle strength. The doctors delivered the heartbreaking news.
Multiple doctors and experts told me that it wouldn't be right or healthy for you to keep the baby. Did you want to?
We still had a true result. He said because he was right for your body.
On December 10th last year, she decided to report the truth about her affair to the university.
They said, we're really sorry about everything that you went through, and we're here to protect you and to help you through all this.
University fired for wrapping that conversation. Shiver says less than an hour later, he appeared at her apartment.
All of a sudden, I hear footsteps, and they're getting closer and louder, and I'm like, crap. And so I run to my door to try to lock it. He barges in, and he's standing like this close to me, and he said, "You ruined my life. Why would you do this to me?" And then I start backing up, and he starts following me.
Did you feel the way?
Oh my gosh, yes. I mean, he's 6'4", and he comes in with his hood up, looking down at me, saying, "I ruined his life," crying, and it's like, and it starts coming at me, and I'm telling him to leave, that he's not supposed to be here, he's not He's not listening to me. And then he starts grabbing, stabber knives.
You had no right to do what you did.
A judge sentenced Moore to 18 months probation.
What you getting ready to leave? What you getting ready to leave?
Yeah, I got,
Allowed for the dismissal of more serious
I'll leave
charges
it.
including home invasion.
You think he should go to jail?
He should have gotten
In a statement,
he stated
Getting all my stuff right now. Turning
Shriver and some of the former colleagues, including those in leadership, were aware of the affair. Do you feel that the university had a moral obligation to come to you sooner?
yes. He controlled everything that was going on in my life, and they didn't do anything about it.
In a statement,
You get $90.
I just want, other women that are going through this, that this doesn't need to happen, it doesn't need to go this far.
And our thanks for Lindsay Davis and that interview. So have you ever felt like you were pulled over just so a cop could get a quote out? You might be right, because there's this new lawsuit now. It's against the Phoenix Police Department, and it alleges that it enforces a de facto DUI program that actually pressures officers to make DUI arrests or face employment consequences. Brianna Langari, she alleges that in her lawsuit that she was unrightfully arrested after her wedding, after an officer fabricated breathalyzer evidence. She says in the suit that the body police actually captured the moment that the officer said, "They're going to kick me off the squad if I don't get a DUI." Phoenix Police declined to comment about the litigation, but did say the Professional Standards Bureau is reviewing the case. They don't have to talk about my circumstances. So Brian, let's talk more about what happened here. And it's an arrest, based on suspicions like this being filed. Right. So is it true then that officers are supposed to meet a certain quota each month? I mean, for
New
owed the IRS over $7,000 and had no idea where to start. Federated Tax dealt directly with the IRS and got me approved for an offering compromise. I ended up paying just $1,200. Since this story aired, thousands of Americans have already called. If you owe the IRS $10,000 or more, the number is on the screen. The call is completely free, and it could change everything. The IRS is missing the paycheck every single week. Federated Tax stopped it in 12 days. 12 days.
I owe the IRS $16,000. Federated Tax negotiated a fresh start agreement and got my balance down to $4,000. The call and consultation are completely free at 1-888-816-0248. Next level dog people give their dogs next level protection with Next Guard Plus. One-of-one month repair set protection against fleas, ticks, heartworm disease, roundworms, and hookworms. With precaution, dogs with a history of seizures and neurologic disorders. Get next level protection with Next Guard Plus.
What's going on? Why is everybody running?
We just got our grocery cart delivered.
That's right. If you have Medicare Part A and B, you can get your groceries covered by Medicare. You can use it at your favorite grocery stores like Walmart, Costco, and CVS. You can spend it on things like groceries, meds, and more. If you miss out on claiming this, you will have to wait another 12 months before reapplying. Requesting your card is simple and free to check. Just call the number below and speak to a Medicare professional. Once qualified, you will receive your card at home in a few days and can be used right away. Call the number below to claim yours.
So do you guys work for the building or are you contracted out? For the part of the exactly what it is. Out here. Progressive can protect you from becoming embarrassed. We can protect you on home if you bundle with us. Question about the shipping receipt. The Suffolk County Courthouse delivered the whatever the story is, we'll take it.
And the hikers forced to run for their lives after the Death Trail volcano erupted. New video showing tourists running through one of the most dangerous active craters in Central America while dodging flying rocks and debris. Now Guatemalan officials are warning people not to risk their life for a photo. Our Sam Champion has more.
Dramatic video showing the moment these hikers take against feet of an active volcano. The tourists were climbing toward the crater, but the group was forced to turn around and race down the slope, running for their lives as a massive flow of gas, ash, and rock shot into the air, sending debris raining down around them. Video posted on Facebook showing panicked hikers nearby scrambling to escape, dodging flying rocks. Something surprising, very dangerous for able to pay your claims instantly. With Lemonade Car Insurance, you can say from day one that you're a safe driver. Plus, if you drive less, you can save even more with our low mileage discount. It's about time insurance does that. Get a quote at lemonade.com/car. React with your money. It does sound too good to be true, right? Game makers have already spent huge budgets on advertising for games. Cash Your App is here to help you get a share of that. Game makers want loyal players, and they're willing to pay you. $10 million has already gone straight into players' pockets this year alone. Cash Your App puts all these paid opportunities in motion. And that's how Cash Your App changes the game economy.
A perfect morning starts with great coffee and Double Down Casino. Watching the wheels spin is my favorite pick-me-up. Download now and brew up something spectacular with 1 million free chips.
Auditioning for America. Wow, beautiful. So it's all that. That was impressive.
ABC News Live.
Because the news never stops.
I told you once. And you constructive feedback. And you're thoughtful.
Just get back.
I'm going to make something of this job. No.
Charlie, how's your second line?
That's not what you're wearing.
He's kind of feeling for all his kids.
Dreams do come true. We can always use a little bit of fun, but not too much fun. Let's do this. Nice start, Charlie. I've waited my whole life for this moment. I already knew the martini.
Anything to say?
Do we feel ready to work, or do we feel ready to snap? The standoff over one of the world's most important waterways. When will it end? Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Kara Phillips from our nation's capital. It's Friday, April 24th. Right now on ABC News Live, hold up. The Strait of Hormuz, the Pentagon sending more troops to the region as President Trump says he feels no pressure to make a deal. Wildfire emergency, fast-moving flames triggering a new wave of evacuations in the southeast. The latest on the firefighting and how the weather is fueling the flames. Legitimate stops or police quotas. The explosive lawsuit from a driver who says she was charged with a crime she didn't commit. And terrifying moment on the slopes of a volcano. What happened to a group of hikers after a sudden eruption? ABC News Live starts. Thousands of U.S. service members still risking their lives blockading Iranian ports in the Strait of Hormuz. But President Trump says he feels no pressure to make peace with Tehran. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth saying that blockade is growing more powerful by the day, too, announcing even more troops will be arriving in the coming days. Hegseth speaking alongside General Dan Kane at the Pentagon today, issuing this ultimatum to Iran.
We're not anxious for a deal. And I hear him say it every day in private as well. Iran knows that they still have an open window to choose wisely. As we said previously, choose wisely at the negotiating table. All they have to do is abandon a nuclear weapon in meaningful and verifiable ways, or instead they can watch their regime crash with economic state collapse under the unrelenting pressure of American power.
Some possible good news coming out of the region, though. Iran's top diplomat raising hopes for renewed peace talks with the U.S. Foreign Minister confirming intent to Pakistan today to jumpstart negotiations this weekend. Our chief foreign correspondent Ian Cannell in Tel Aviv with the latest. Ian?
Yeah, hi, Karen. It's been a busy day. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth giving a briefing, focused on U.S. strategy and around telling reporters that the U.S. would bleed out the Iranian economy with the naval blockade, urging Iran to cut a deal, saying all they have to do is abandon a nuclear weapon in a meaningful and verifiable way, or instead they can watch situations fragile economic state collapse. I think that's the view of officials here, that that blockade and the sanctions are going to have a punitive effect on the Iranian economy, and that they limit what the regime
middle, if my middle part of my hair is like a lot longer. Trying to even it up a little bit.
Meanwhile, Israel, I think, making its intentions on Iran very clear. Defense Minister Katz said Israel is prepared to renew the war against Iran. We're waiting for the green light from the US, first and foremost, to complete the elimination of the Hammonite dynasty and return Iran to the Dark Ages.
So I usually bring forward, cover his fat forehead, so that, yeah, so usually I bring him aside and bring him down.
Extension. And it came out the talks between Israeli and Lebanese officials at the White House. The president saying he hopes 3 weeks of no firing occurs, but also acknowledging that both sides have Hezbollah to think about. Talk of which the Iranian-backed militant group rejecting these negotiations, calling them a deceptive scheme, criticizing Lebanese officials for sitting at the negotiating table with Israel.
Specifically want someone to talk to you land.
Yeah, just a blend.
All right, Ian Panel, thank you. And for more Korean White House correspondent Karen Travers. So Karen, Iran's foreign minister is now confirming that he is indeed traveling to Pakistan. So what do you think this means for possible peace talks with the U.S.?
It could be possible here. You know, he is not going there explicitly for bilateral negotiations with the United States at this point. They say these are regional issues. It's part of the core of the region where they're also going to stop in Iran and Russia. But Iran did not travel to Pakistan earlier this week in anticipation of a potential meeting with Vice President Vance. Obviously, that meeting went by President's side, and that trip was called off, and he did not go either. So now there could be there, and that could jumpstart negotiations. The big question, of course, though, is, do they
his confirmation is good to go.
Right. I mean, well, we haven't heard from Tom Phillips yet, and that's something that we're watching because he's been the deciding role here. I actually asked him just 2 days ago, assuming that you know, or I specifically, right? Is this a comment Kevin Warsh? He said, no, I support Kevin Warsh. I don't support this investigation. So presumably now that the investigation is going away, he come out and say that he, you know, we haven't heard any sort of confirmation hearing timeline. You know, May 15th is when this ends pretty soon. Powell had said that he would stay in that role until there's a new successor to confirm. That's confirmed. One interesting kind of twist here, though, Kira, is that Powell's term as a Fed governor actually ends 2 years from now, so he could stay on the Fed for 2 more years, not as the leader, but on basically a leadership role. Have to see. He hasn't yet said if he would do that. Kind of dependent on how this, and quite the statement we saw him stay in the Fed board after all this back and forth.
That would be pretty interesting. But then again, he may want to do it just to poke the bear.
Well, I mean, and very different comments from the Fed, including Jerome Powell. I asked him directly, what happens if the Fed loses its independence from politics? And a lot of senators were not satisfied with Kevin Warsh's on that. Answers on that in the hearing this week. Powell might want to make the statement, determined to keep the Fed kind of as independent as possible. We will see, though. This is something, there's a lot of members of the Fed, a lot of them insist on the independence. Actually, Kevin Warsh did make a point saying he does believe the Fed should operate independently, too.
All right, break some more news for us. Thank you, Elizabeth. Okay. Well, fast-moving wildfires triggering a new wave of evacuations in the southeast. At least 87 homes have now been destroyed in Georgia. The 2 largest wildfires remain largely uncontained, as more than 35,000 acres have already been scorched. 91 counties remain under a state of emergency in South Georgia now, with plumes of smoke overtaking the skies there. Air quality alerts from Jacksonville to Columbia, South Carolina. We're now watching those, and Governor Brian Kemp is set to survey the damage as well. Well, straight ahead, breaking her silence. The scandal that ended with a top college football coach out of a job. The woman at the center of it gives us.
The IRS doesn't send warnings forever. At some point, they just take the money. But there's a way out, and most people don't know it exists. The IRS has hardship programs, fresh start settlements, penalty removal payment reductions. We've helped people settle for tens of thousands in IRS debt for a fraction of what they owed. I owed over $100,000 for multiple years. Federated tax was able to settle it for $1,000.
Federated tax has helped thousands of Americans resolve their IRS debt, penalties, liens, garnishments, and more.
I owe the IRS $38,000. I thought I'd be paying that off the rest of my life. Federated tax settled it for $2,400. I'm done.
Federated Tax's experienced tax professionals deal directly with the IRS on your behalf.
The IRS was garnishing my paycheck every single week. Federated
See
tax
this side
stopped
of
it.
the paper to this side.
Yeah.
Want me to make it even as possible?
If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, the call is free.
I'm gonna do whatever you recommend at this point. Because I see what you're talking about. It's a little bit thicker on this side than it is.
And before I like to tell people, before I get to cutting in love, because
No, it's
we
good.
particular about
It's
our
good.
hair. Once it's gone, it's gone. Now, what I would recommend, say you always wear, now do you style it or you just leave it, kind of let it do what it
No,
does?
so I'll put in some, I'll style it and just bring it to
Just give it to the front. And when you do that to you, 'cause when I'm looking at it, I can tell it because I'm up on it.
Usually it's just it's perfect the way it is right here.
Yeah, I can tell because I'm all up on a plan. That's how I can tell. But it don't look bad to me. But like I said, I can try to even it out. It's much thicker, but that's just how your hair side up.
Yeah.
So you gonna
It's okay.
eventually run into that side. You can tell later in life this is the side you gonna have to watch out for.
It's already coming, dog. I'm 42 years old, dude. Like it's already here.
Look, it's free, it's easy, and it actually works. Download Cash Draft and start earning.
The best-selling truck bed cover in the world just got better. Test the beat gear and resistant bottom.
Richard Bill post on Substack is the first time he's commented about the murders publicly. Robin Michelle Reiner's other son, Nick, has been charged with their murders and has pleaded not guilty. Now Jake is asking for absolute privacy as he and his sister trying to navigate dangerous circumstances. The woman center of the Michigan football coach's firing and arrest is breaking her silence now. Hank Schreiber, Shagger Record, tells our Lindsay Davis about her relationship with Short Moore, her attempts to end it, and what she says happened the day he barged into her apartment accusing her of ruining his life. Here's her exclusive interview.
Did you love him?
Back then, I did, but obviously looking back at things and really reflecting on what happened, what was happening, that's Paige Schreiber, now 32, says she was just an intern in 2022 when she and Jerome Moore, then an offensive coordinator and a married father, started a consensual, intimate relationship. She was asked to be Moore's executive assistant when he was promoted to head coach in 2024. Did you feel pressure to have the relationship in order to have job security?
Yes, I did. He and other coaches had control over my career, especially him. I mean, he could fire me in a second.
Schreiber says her attempts to end an on-again, off-again relationship were often met with what she calls manipulation tactics, including threats of self-harm.
Every time I tried to pull away, he always had a story, always had a way to pull me in and making me feel bad.
During their years-long relationship, Schreiber learned she was pregnant by Moore. Pregnancy was complicated by Pompe disease, a genetic disorder that weakens muscle strength. The doctors delivered the heartbreaking news.
Multiple doctors and experts told me that it wasn't right and healthy for me to keep the baby.
Did you want to?
He really said how much your own was like. He said you guys do what's right for your body.
On December 10th of last year, she decided to report the truth about her affair to the university.
They said, you know, we're really sorry about everything that you went through, and we're here to protect you and to help you through all this.
The university fired her after that conversation. Schreiber says less than an hour later, he appeared at her apartment.
All of a sudden, I hear footsteps, and they're getting closer and louder. And I'm like, crap, it's like,
TikTok, bro.
Absolutely.
Big base shop is $10. If you want to tip more, tip on base what you feel so.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate you, man. Yes, sir.
I'll keep spreading the videos and stuff.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah,
Have a good
absolutely.
rest of your day, brother.
You too, brother.
Appreciate you, Ms. James.
Right. So is it true then that officers are supposed to meet a certain quota each month? I mean, what would you do with that information?